Okay, so we start by working inside the camera raw, and few things I want kind of point. So when I photo shoot, and I photo shoot with the intent to use it in the post-production to use it in compositing, usually I will set lighting what I call flat look, and this is example right here. So what does it mean? You can see it's highlight evenly. Usually it is 3 points set up, sometimes 4, maybe on the back, but right here we have a 2 side lighting and 1 up front. You can see this soft box just a little bit above her. This way we have it evenly lighting. The reason is why for this, so when we use in compositing and I want to decide to change the theme maybe from one end or another, whatever, maybe shadows to add, it will be much easier for me to add lighting, add shadows and everything. If I had already one side is darker, then I will lock myself to that specifically lighting position. In Photoshop, it's much easier to add shadows than highlights, because with shadows, we're just removing that information. With the highlights, we actually need the restore or add, and add is usually lead to add more noise and other elements. So right here is our original, how I say it's a flat shot image. Also, I shooting with usually aperture about 11 or 8. Quite a bit small opening, so we have it quite a bit depth of the field, remove it as much as possible, so sharp edges that will help us also integrate it. Remember, we always can make blur in Photoshop, but it's much harder to make a sharper edge from the blurred edge. So this is because of those things for the future. What I'm looking, usually I will shoot flat. Again, if I'm shooting for the future compositings, okay, it will be flat look with even lighting, and it will be sharp edge. So those is kind of help me, and this is what's happening with this image. So let's go next. What I want to do, it is first, you can see we have it quite a bit bright areas right here with the lighting. We still have it all information. We can look in histogram, everything is fine. We could just take highlights and bring them all the way down. This way we restore some of those elements, so we'll return our skin, everything back. Next, I want just take shadows and pop up a little bit. I don't want to go too high, and I'm flattening a little bit in a darker area. Again, this is kind of almost like you go back and forward, but right here you can see we have it restore some depth of elements. And when I say restore depth of elements in this image, and again, we don't use a 3D view right now, we have it, it's a flat image single. The depth for us, it's only going through the contrast or luminosity channel, through the have it highlights and shadows. That is what give it us shape to the object, not the color. Okay, in some case maybe sharpness, but in this case not even sharpness or blur, because I'm shooting with very sharp. So in this case, what I'm meaning, it will take saturation all the way down. The black and white, the shadows, that is what giving us shape, and it's what I'm doing. I'm restoring to this shape. And in some case, if you want, you can take your saturations down to 0, all the way remove it, and work a little bit this way. See if your shape of the preparation of the subject in a camera raw will work for you. So what after, when we work with reduce highlights, shadows, we can take a little bit on the other coloring, and you can see right here this color does not affect current luminosity because we have our saturations to -100. Let's go 0, and you can see we can, with the luminosity on specific channel, we can restore slightly this highlights, but not too much, because I still want have preserve all information in the highlights. And be sure to remove chromatic abbreviation and user profile correction for the lens is enabled, so it will help us restore, remove some unwanted vignetting and other things. As well, if we click on the bottom, you'll notice right here I'm working in Adobe RGB color space, and this is color space is working troll set in my camera, I set in my Photoshop camera, and so on. So this is color space I prefer to work, and I'm working with 16-bit depth, so it's not 8-bit, which is some filters or some stuff maybe not work with 16-bit. If you find that, you can convert, but general I work with higher bit coloring, because it's remove some of those fringing, remove some of those kind of steps and lighting you can see. So it's give it smooth gradients for us. Okay, when we're done with this, we can go ahead and click open. I'm open as just general image. I don't open as the smart object in this case, because I won't necessarily modify on this image, and through all my workflow, I find I don't actually need a smart object for this. However, if I going to isolate object, what I do in other cases, and I'm going to resize, then I will convert to smart object afterwards. Okay, so right here is our image. First, what I want to do, it is a little bit add a cropping size. I don't like where the hand's going. We'll go bring a little bit closer. Usually I like to keep it eyes on the same, but I don't like how cut arm here. So we'll go just down, maybe somewhere around this area. And we'll set, I won't enable delete cropped pixels, just in case, if I decide to change my mind or whatever. Okay, let's go click enter, and that should resize our image. Next step, what I want to do is remove those some little bit blemishes on the skin. I don't want to remove too much of them because this is our model, and what I found out, if you leave some of those imperfection, the human face will look a little bit more natural because we're used to this. However, this is supposed to inspired by Blade Runner movie, and it's a droid kind of replicant. Sorry, it's a replicant from the movie, so it should have somewhat a bit better skin perfected. So we'll go fix this. You can fix multiple ways. Usually what I do is create new layer, use it healing brush, go over. However, but sometimes when you process, some plugins work much better and easy to do. For example, let's go just duplicate this, and I'll show you one plugin, and I'll show you also in other ways how we can do that by hand. So right here we're creating, let's go retouch, call this layer retouch, and one what I like it's called, we'll go to filter, retouch for me heal. Very nice plugin, work very good, and best parts of this, if you process a lot of photos, and you can actually take this plugin, automate it, and put it in your batch processing, and you just retouch tons of photos. They will remove all these blemishes. I'm really impressed how this plugin work, save a lot of time. And you can see right here, this is already removed. See how skin, very clean skin. We'll select make mask, let's click apply. It's all what I need to do. So presets, very simple, one click, it saves a lot of time. Let's look closer on the face, what it did. Sometimes work better, sometimes not. You can see like right here we have a little bit kind of effect was applied, but this is what was retouched, so it's kind of gone all over places. Sometimes the plugin maybe touch area you don't want it, so in this case you can apply mask and just go eliminate those areas, just remove where you don't want it. But overall it did a very good job, I think, and it saved a lot of time. So before and after, and I will leave it with this plugin. How I said before, to show what I usually done, I'll create new layer, have it my healing brush. Okay, come closer to our subject. Okay, you'll select, hold down Alt or Option, select area, and just go over like this. So it will take a little bit time, but you can see we can still do exactly the same things by hand. Again, use Alt, sample the area where you want it, and go all over. So this way will be very similar things. We'll just create those spots by hand, fixing them. But as I said before, its program will do it. Like right here, sometimes maybe it does not work as well, just a little bit blemish, so maybe you want to go fix. For me, I will leave it here because we got smooth actually skin even more. We'll go add some smoothness to this. You know what, now it's still kind of a little bit bugging me right there. So what I'm going to do, just move this layer on top, one that I touch up, and just leave it there. Okay, so let's go call retouching 2, just to fix this element because it was kind of in my face. Okay, let's look on the hands as well. We have a little bit problem right here. We are still on our hand touch up, so we can go to select. Okay, let's go select this area right there and just a little bit fix with the coloring and other stuff. Also, as we're checking, let's go around and see, like, if we have some fur or hair right there, we can also retouch. Not necessarily we'll take it because it's mostly focus for our skin tone, so we can just go and fix it, remove some of those hair. But we will apply also the special filter to this, and some of these elements will be gone anyway, so don't worry if you have too many of those showing, but I just give you example. Okay, right here we created our image. Next, what I want to do is apply smoothing to this, and for this we press Ctrl Shift Alt E, Command Option Alt E on the Mac. That is, we'll take all visible layers, blend them, merge them together, and creating new layer for us. So this one we'll call smooth, and I want to create a smoothness of the skin just to reduce some of the texturing, so it will look a little bit more artificial for us. So we'll go to filter, we'll go to noise, and using dust and scratches. In dust and scratches, the value of the will apply radius of the pixels. It's a change depend on the resolution of your photo. You can play around. Usually what I want to do, it is as long when I see like smooth, see right here, maybe not total smooth, so we'll go back to about 20 when we have a little bit more smoother. And actually I think maybe 26 was actually good. Yeah, right there a little bit more smooth between tone. This is okay. Click OK. It will apply to our skin. Next, we want to take the smoothness, hold down Alt or Option and click on a mask. That will create a black mask for us, so it's meaning that layer become not affected any other one, so it's invisible, it's kind of hiding. Next, we'll take our brush. Let's go be sure our brush is soft, round, set. Let's increase a little bit opacity, 10%. We want soft opacity. And I'm just start brushing in. When I'm select right where the smoothness, I have it on the mask selection, not on the image itself, and I'm painting with white color 10% on the black mask. So I'm making this is visible. So if we look on our mask, this is what's happening. I'm kind of painting in, okay, and it's won't be very visible too much at the beginning. But what it does, it's removing some of this texturing, detailization. So it's creating this nice smooth look. This is work very well if you're creating like posters, if you want to hide some noise or any other elements. And you can see right here, I think it's work very good right now. So we'll just smooth a little bit more in the elements around on our skin, creating. So kind of spend a bit of time. One thing to keep in mind, eyes, I'm staying away from the hair, eyes, lips. I'm staying away from all these details where I want to preserve them. This is just on the skin, just in those areas where I want to kind of remove texturing. And I want to keep it definitely, I want to keep it texturing on the eyes because they need to be sharp. I want to keep it texturing on the lips. If we look on a mask, this is what's happening. You can see where's the applied. You can always kind of like go a little bit touch up there, but this is where applying. So let's go next on the neck, and right here you can see we have quite a bit texturing, which actually I want totally almost remove, so I will have it more apply of the effect in the skin because I want smoothness. Same way, and let's go on the arm. Be sure we're using on the hands. We want to be sure that our skin on the face as a texturing matching our hands. This is important, otherwise they will stand out too much from that. Okay, one thing you'll need to notice, because I'm removing texture, I'm kind of making it more smooth. The grain is gone. If we come closer, you can see some grain right here, and it's not on skin. So later on, we'll need to go back and restore some of this grainness to bring together. Okay, right here we have our image smooth out, remove some blemishes, so it's almost ready for our dodge and burn. And dodge and burn, that is will affect shadows and highlights. And remember, at the beginning it says where you're creating shadow and highlights, it's what creating for us the object shape. And we'll start shaping a little bit more with our object in this case. Before I actually do this, let's go to add some sterilization to hair and to coat. So let's go again, Control Shift Alt E, Command Option Alt E on a Mac, creating merge all. Let's go call it hair, but we'll do actually for another stuff. And for this one, we'll go Filter, Stylize, and we'll go to Oiled Paint. In Oil Paint, we'll want to Sterilization 10, Cleanness 10, 1, 1 on all of those. Enable lighting because I want the texturing actually applied to this. Click OK. And in some cases, texturing maybe not as strong. I mean, those fiber does not seem strong. So in this case, we'll go Filter, Sharpen, and we'll use the Unsharp Mask with higher value on them. So it will add, bring a little bit more. And you can see we have a very beautiful look. Again, we don't want to apply everywhere. We'll hold down Alt or Option, click on a mask, and we'll go use it white brush. Same settings as before to paint in those hair. And what it does, it's clean. Why it's look a little bit cleaner? Because if we look on a hair right there, we have it not just a hair. We presume it is linear. It's go as a one single line. Okay, but when we're photo shooting or other things, we also have this noise, which is have it horizontal parallel to our hair, which we don't want it. It just mess up, does not look kind of clean and nice. By applying this filter, we're removing some of those horizontal lining in the hair and removing some small details, creating look like almost it's paint hair. So this is all the kind of illusion almost what we're creating, and that is work very well. Also, if you look closer right here, it will affect also on the skin a little bit, and it's not bad. It's actually work very well if you have it a wig on a person and you want to kind of hide the wig. You can go close to the skin, use it same techniques like right here, and you can see it will look almost wig will be gone. It's look like hair growing from that places. Okay, at this point we'll go down, and on a fur, this is look beautiful on the hair, and it's look very good on a fur. So it will look way more painting for us effect. Fur become, and same like you can see right here where we have it, some piece of hair or something, they kind of start blending together, work in our advantage with the texture. And that's all what we do. We'll just cleaning, removing some teeny tiny horizontal linings inside, you know, cross hair lining. It's mostly what we need to call, create more linear look. And let's do this on a fur, just add. And I think this is actually removing some of those details will make us focus on areas where we want it. These any filters like this or other ones, well, we applied also will affect some of a grain because it start stretching those lines, so it will affect the grain. Remember, we'll need to restore that. Okay, I think we have a nice beautiful look. Okay, let's go zoom out. That is our hair. We clean up. So next I think we can start add some of the dodge and burn. For this we'll go create new layer. Let's rename this dodge and burn, and we'll go to fill up this layer with a 50% gray, 100% opacity, normal mode, so just plain gray. You can use it clear layer if you want it, and do otherwise. This is the way I usually do. Okay, and we'll go switch to soft light, make it invisible. Next we'll switch to black and white. Let's go with the black. I'm start with black color, like darken first, 10%, same brush, soft round brush. And first what I'm going to do, it is emphasize on the area where it's dark. If you're not familiar with some of the cow body shape or anything, best way to start it, it's add a little bit more shadows to the area where you already see shadows. So like right here, I'm going to add a little bit more shadows on this edge to emphasize a little bit more depth and structure. Okay, we'll go right there. Lips, if remember, this is interesting things about shadows and highlights. You know, if we have it white, brighter, it's mean closer, it's mean closer to the lights, how we look, and also it's meaning that is bigger. When it's darker, usually smaller, follow far away. So on the lips, what we can do, if you just take it down, bottom, top and bottom, like lips, you know, make this, switch to the white, make a little bit here, and just look on this lip. Just that simple things, it's make lips pop up, make a little bit more puffy, round. So this is all what we've done. We're playing just with the shapes, and this is what we do. We'll add a little bit modification here. So let's go. A couple things I want to add, like an eyes. And if you watch, she was in the rain, we'll go put in the rain. So we'll need make mascara a little bit dripping, and we'll need add blue to the eye. So we'll go to do this. Right here, it's a darker. Okay, let's go add a little bit more shadows around here. Remember hands, we'll need to add, create on our fingers. Okay, next, till we're touching this, let me touch up a little bit on cigarette. We'll need to add a little bit lights and other stuff, but I just want it darken. There you go, just a little bit darken. We'll still need to come back to this. Okay, next, let's switch to the white color, and we'll just start adding, there you go, a little bit highlights on the area like eyes. We add a little bit highlights here. Let's go zoom out, and we'll maybe switch these highlights later. This is also our very beginning. This is not related to environment, so this is just a subject highlights to bring subject a little bit out. What we're going to do later, we'll go add environmental dodge and burn, which is more related to. Okay, at this point, if we preview, this was before and after. You can see we remove the flatness, we add a little bit more dimensions, and subjects start kind of pop out of the image. I think at this moment it's better just bring backdrop here, integrate it, and then we'll start adding some coloring to this. Okay, so this render, what I'm going to use, I did inside the DAZ Studio, and that is a preset already. I forgot, I think this is from Stone Mansion or whatever, some other ones, but I took it, it took time a little bit to render. I rendered not on high resolution because I don't really was worried too much about grain, but I want to be sure it's kind of coloring matching, and we'll go use this one. Let's go press enter. One thing, you can use it any other backdrop if you want it. I just know this is kind of have an interest in lighting, but we'll need to hide. And if you're interested in how to highlight, how to do all these backdrops, how to do all this stuff, I have a lot of other videos included on CG. I think over 2,000 videos just on my channel, plus many other ones. If you're interested, I would recommend, if you seriously consider to do compositing, I would highly recommend for you to start using some 3D app, anything from ZBrush, Vue, DAZ Studio, TerraGen, any other ones, a lot of them. Find one you like it and use, because it will help you to understand how lighting work, how blending work, and other things. Okay, so right here I have it my backdrop, and notice I did not, as usual, isolate model with a pen, so I won't do this. I will just create here. It is convert as a smart object, which I want to keep this way. And now we'll just hold down Alt key, click on the mask, so we'll hide out. We'll take our brush, and one thing with the brush, what I want to do, I don't want to select white color. I will just select predefine a bit darker, so it will be, and we'll see like 50% gray. We'll see how it will come up. So this way I can set to 100% opacity, and when I paint, it just bring in like this. Okay, so it won't be all the way there, but it will bring. Okay, let's go zoom in, and what we want to do, it is, you can use the object select if you want it. I found that this way will work just fine. Okay, we'll go around there, and notice if we're going over like her fur, it does little bit hiding, but it actually work in our advantage because it is almost creating look like it's a light spill, okay, on her coat. One thing notice, because 50% it's a gray color, it is one that in Photoshop using for in a blending mode, it's like invisible almost. In a soft light it is not affecting anything. When I photoshoot, I try to photoshoot on a 50% gray background, because that way I can very easy blend. I don't have any problems with a color blending, okay, or a color spill effect. I don't have any other effects. So if you're interested, that is my settings, and you can see I can just very easy, very fast go over. Be sure with the hair too much, we can go back, press X and paint a little bit on the edge. Let's go out right here, and we'll just kind of paint a little bit like right go this area. Okay, there you go, easy to blend. Again, if we gone too much over this border, we can, but it's work. I think the blending with the fur and this way it's actually work in our advantage right now. So it's look easy, nice. Let's go next. We'll go click on a mask, hold down Alt, click on a mask or options. It's open and showing area where I need kind of paint a little bit more. And because I'm using 100%, so I just know it will be, there you go, very fast. You can select object, you can create any other ways you like it, but overall this is where I prefer to do mine. Next, if you want it, we can add a little bit brighter, so we'll kind of have it going a little bit up, and then we can just add slightly, actually let's go to 20%, okay, where neon lighting, because we want them pop up when we start having glow. So we can just kind of like create a little bit more in those areas. Okay, there you go, like lighting going right there. Okay, next let's go on this. It's a smart filter, or it's smart object. Smart object work nicely because filter not necessarily will affect all the way when we do like blur, so it's will remember and we can change any times. But I want to apply Gaussian blur on the background because I want focus on the model, and we can just you know, maybe go like around there. So I want to see something, but I don't want pop up too much. There you go. I think that will work effect very well. So we're done with this. Now when I set my background already preset, I can start working with the casting light on her. And we can usually work with two different lights that I was preferring. Like for example, we can make one light kind of one color, another. And you know what, right here it's red, I don't necessarily like it. So let's go take on select, you see the link button. I'm unlink between mask because I want mask here, but I want to take background and move it. And what I want to do, I want to hide and bring blue on this side kind of, and warm on this side. So it's what we're going to do this way. Okay, maybe like right around there. So we have, you know what, let me see, maybe like around here. Yeah, I think maybe I need to increase. Let me make it bigger slightly. Okay, just going right, maybe of course our mask need to be changed on some lighting, but I want to create maybe like right there. I don't want blue light be on her cigarette, but I want this area be a little bit blue, and I want this area be darker, but I don't want also get too much attention be around there, like right there. What I'm looking at is, okay, lights I don't want to be on the same line, I don't want to be same line, this light matching cigarette, so I'm positioning a little bit. We always can scale a little bit more, but I want to be sure this is a blue light going from this side and this is a red. I think that will work good. Again, because I change size and other stuff, if we look on the lighting, you can see right here it's missing something, so we'll probably need to go back and change. For this, I'm going to take a brush and just apply slightly in those areas lighting where I want to pop up my sign a little bit bright. So it's what I'm doing. I'm just adding a little bit more. And right here we can always switch back to the darker and just kind of hide a little bit right there. Let's go, and we can actually just go wider. Okay, white color. So overall I'm just adding a little bit playing with transparency. And her hair, I don't like right there, see how much it's going. So let's go back to mask right there. Yeah, let's go right here, back here. And this is because some changes I applied. So I'll go to hide. We will have it some glowing effect applied to this, so it will hide, but just for now let's be sure it's this way. Okay, now we can zoom out, and I think I'm ready to apply colors. So apply colors we'll do several ways. We'll apply reflective color on her, and we'll apply also color on her skin, tonal. And let's go start with maybe tonal. Let's help us. So we'll go create new, we call it cold. So we'll go cold light. We'll switch to the soft light, we don't want it very strong. And with a brush we'll select cyan color. You can just alt hold and pick the color inside there. Okay, when it's selected, 10%, we can start paint, and you can just paint like this here directly on her. And you know what, when I start painting, I notice I forgot a couple things, so we'll go do this. But right there you can see we kind of painting, and I'm painting on a sides that I think if light's coming from this side, where does this light will end up on her? Okay, and this is what I'm painting. I'm painting on those elements, like her cheek right here will be warm, but this area will be cold light. So we'll kind of go create a little bit colder look on this side. Okay, included her hair. So overall, and it's okay if we're going over the whole image because we want to have it colder look. So we can easily just go and paint a little bit soft light all over this area. Okay, if you want it, you can select like green light, even add a little bit more green right there. But I think the cold will be nice to go just all over this area, like right there, almost, you know. On this side, we want to select something warmer, and we'll go with a warm color on this side. But you know what? Let me undo this, create new layer, and we'll call this warm. Okay, and same, we'll switch to this soft light. And we'll just with soft light start kind of painting a little bit right there. You know, maybe I don't like this color. I think I probably let's go with a little bit more purplish kind of, a little bit more steampunk. Okay, and on this layer we'll go just delete everything what we painted before, go back to soft light. We have our brush selected with a little bit, yeah, I think this one a little bit more interesting. Okay, let's go back here, we have face. And now with coloring, you can see we start having a little bit, let's go to her palm inside because it's light if going from this direction. It's what we'll create it. Just add a little bit more right here. And we can just add this overall. And that's what we're playing. We're playing with two different lights, kind of how they work. If it's too much, you always can take your opacity a little bit down and apply this way. One thing I want to come back right here before our model, and what I want to do is apply some of the under her eyes. If you in a movie it was some mascara was leaking and other stuff, so we can do that way. To leaking mascara, because we add the rain, we want to create like lines right there. Okay, so let's go do this way. First, what I want to do is actually disable everything except with our dodge and burn, so we have it all of this. Okay, we'll go create let's go create black and white. That way we'll creating our depth map, and you'll see what we need that for. So in this case, I'm just taking a little bit more, create on depth this way, and I'm going to save this as the depth map. So what is meaning, we'll just go File, Save, and let's do that. Okay, and I'm just going to save as a dmask Photoshop file, click Save. Okay, it will go, just save it for us so we can reuse later. Right now with we can leave it all things disabled, it's fine. Let's go create a new layer. What I want to do is create a mascara link. We have a few ways we can do. We can do directly with the brushes, just click on a copy brushes, but if you don't have it, I'll show you another ways we do it. Let's go create a black color, 10% or 100% opacity, and I'm just going like this, just make dots right there, you know, just create random dots under eyes preferably. Okay, next we'll go to filter, blur, and we're going to motion blur. So in motion blur, we'll go up and down. We can actually just go just a little bit, maybe like this way. So it's a little bit slide down. Let's go reduce distance right there. Okay, that is done. And next we'll go to filter, distortion, and we'll go to displace. And displace, let's go with maybe about 10 pixels, no, 10 pixels too much. Let's go with 5 pixels displacement, and we'll click OK. That should open mask where we save it. We have this displacement mask, click OK. And it must be 8 pixels, of course, because we need to save this as 8 pixels. So let's go ahead and reopen and save image, convert to 8 pixels. Okay, so right here, just save as different, open as the mask, go image, mode, let's go to convert 8-bit instead 16-bit. I wish some of those plugins does work a little bit better with all of this, but when it's done converting, we go and save it. So we can go back now here, and again, go filter, distort displace. Okay, so we're going right here, 5, click OK, select our mask, open. The one thing you'll notice it is changed, but I don't know if you like to do this way or not, because we can achieve this different way as well without mask. The mask is nice if we have like bigger tattoos or more going down to here, kind of visible, but I think with a brush we can do even that way. However, if you you also can over creating that difference if we're going to transform, and we're going to warp. So that way we can also just slightly kind of creating like leaking almost, like right there. Okay, let's go select. And this is just 2 lines, and for these lines we also want to create mask. Take a brush with a white color, 10%, and we can just slightly brush in. One thing, we want to change the mode from more normal to multiply. We'll just add a little bit strikes. It's all what it is. Just be careful. Okay, however, what I want to do is add a little bit bluish darker to what was in the original eyes. Let's create new layer. We'll go to select kind of like darker blue, like this color. Go select to multiply mode, and we'll just go slightly add under eyes. Okay, in some cases maybe we want even closer, make smaller brush and go right there, just emphasize. And you can always open original like screenshot from the movie and just see how it was done there. We can do it this way, same. Let's go just add kind of right there. Let's zoom out. Just add a little bit more. Zoom out more, and you can see we already have it a little bit with the strikes, kind of like almost going down. There you go, eyes. Before after, let's go combine them together and set eye shadow. So we kind of know what it is. Until we're retouching there, let's work a little bit on a cigarette. And that is, should be very, very easy. We'll just go create new layer. We'll go create red color like it's burning. Right there. Let's go switch mode to overlay mode. We can do overlay or sometimes color burn. Okay, we'll go down there. And we don't need to do too much, just to add a little bit more. Color dodge, you can see different. So we have it overlay, we can have it like vivid light, will create brighter. So we can go, you can cycle through different blending mode. Color dodge will also create a little bit, kind of almost look like brighter in some areas. Okay, play with different type of the styles, see which one work very well. But in my case, I found the soft light or kind of like overlay will work very good. We don't need to worry too much about this. It's just kind of red, just only maybe add a little bit more burn black around here. With the soft light, we can do this just selecting black color. And we can just add. We don't need to do too much, just a little bit. And inside, it's all. Okay, because it's on the tip of your cigarette, just create a little bit like something going on there. Okay, her eyes look okay. Maybe, you know, let's add a little bit more color actually in eyes. So I'll create new layer inside that folder. Okay, we'll go select maybe bluish a little bit more. Right there. Okay, increase size and just slightly add. And again, I don't necessarily full color, we don't want it. We want to switch this to the soft light because this way we can hide like right there. So it's add a little bit more on your eyes. Okay, next let's, you know what, I maybe don't like those strikes, they're too powerful. So we can go strikes and switch them a little bit less visible. Just something strikes there, but maybe around there, just a little bit. Okay, in her eyes, let's add some reflection to her eyes, so we'll kind of have it interesting way to view on this. So for this, we'll take same image that we have it before. This one, I'm just going to shrink it down, so kind of cover almost her face and shrink down, so we'll have a little bit more details, reflection, kind of like right there. Okay, let's click enter, so it will resize it, and we'll go switch. If you look on like soft light, okay, let's look closer. We can come to her eyes, and right there you can see the bar and this and some reflection. You know what, maybe even shrink a bit more. What I want to do, it's like reflection of some of those elements inside her eyes. So we'll add this way. Let's go click on Alt or Option, create mask to hide this. Take a brush, get closer to her eyes, and just slightly brush in some of those reflections. Okay, again, if we need it, and you know what, let's go even kind of like make them dim just slightly, some lights reflecting. Okay, right there. Let's go back. Just almost something invisible. You know, you can do also same things if you want. You can just even reflect on her face, just add slightly reflections. So it's all make it. Overall, sometimes I do this if, let's go hide her eyes. And if we want to do on a face as well, you can do similar things. And the reason why sometimes we want to do this. It's because let's say if you're done in the rain, the wetness on the skin will reflect some of this. So sometimes maybe we want to do this way. What I'm going to do is just stretch. I don't care so much about if it's stretch or not, but I want to cover all of her face. We'll go right there. It is a smart object. So we can go to filter, blur. Let's apply Gaussian blur on this one. Click OK. Same, let's look if you switch mode to overlay on her skin or a soft light. Soft light will work a little bit better. Again, we'll go that one, hold Alt and create a mask, so we're hiding again. And now we can do use the brush to brush slightly in, and mostly just look on this eyes, like cheek, where's the reflection. Okay, so let's go ahead and can go just like on a cheek slightly. Of course, we can modify, and remember, if it's too much, we can take it out. But it's just help a little bit add this tone, and important actually on the hair to add. That's what we do. We just add this one. Let's go X. Gone a little bit right there. I'm not sure about that. This face, we'll see. I may remove some of that from the facial a little bit later, but for now, let's skip it. So right here, we created reflection a little bit in the eyes. We created some reflection on her skin. Okay, and we'll go just re-enable back our other stuff. So right here is what we have at this moment. You know what, at this point, I think we need to add some like a rain or smoke behind her hiding. Give it this little bit more depth to this. To do this, let's go create. Now on the top, we'll create new layer. Let's call this fog. Oops, close it, that one. We'll go call fog, and I'm going to actually use it brushes for this. But what I'm going, it's a Ron brushes. It's purchased. You can find free at plenty online. These ones I got from the Does 3D. You have a nice collection there. And we'll go 100%, and you can see just add a little bit of those kind of fog around areas. Let's go create a little bit bigger. Just, you know, like right there maybe. And don't worry if it's a little bit over. We'll go to blend this a little bit more in. We'll go switch to the soft light. So you can see with soft light, so you just add a little bit better blending in, create all this effect. Let's go create new one. We'll call it rain. And I'm going to use the same brush. Actually, I love those brushes there. You have a very nice collections of brushes. And where there, right? Somewhere around here was space slime. There you go, rain effect. That what was saying, brushes is very good. And you know what, one kind of suggestions, if you decide, hey, I like his brushes, I want to buy it, I found they often have it on sale. So what I do, I sometimes put it in my wish list, wait when the sales come, and purchase when like multi-pack or whatever, because they kind of work very well together. So right here we have it one brush, and you can see it does create nice looking effect. We can increase like this all the way size. Let's click one, and that is add our brush. Few things we want to do to this. One, we want to switch to the soft light. Okay, we want to kind of taking down, so it will be on a back, and because it's a background, we actually want to blur because this is close up. So we'll go to filter, blur. We'll do Gaussian blur, and we don't need that much, but we'll need it just like a little bit, add maybe around there, so something like dust almost going, and you can see a little bit on her face, it's add all of this kind of feel, theme kind of, you know, overall give it us nice feeling in that way. Same things, we can create another layer, and usually I will separate as I apply different brushes, I usually will have a different layer, so it will help me to better merge them kind of afterwards. Okay, right here we have it. Let's go select, we don't want mist, but we want kind of like a drips kind of going around. And I think rain downpour, let's go select what we have here. Yeah, that one will work better. Okay, so we'll go, let me just like right there over her face. Because size control command T to scale, so we'll scale down like right there, a little bit over her face. We'll go again going to soft light on this, just a little bit going sparks. Actually, you know, till we here, let's go do this smoke, so that smoke will apply till I'm working to her cigarette, because it's kind of need to be smoke. So I'll go right here, we'll go smoke. Let's go select one that may work. I think this one may work very good. Yeah, I think this will work. Control Z again, 100% smaller. Just click right there, so we have it. Something add a little bit better to the, I think, to the smoke. Next, let's go create a new layer. And how I said before, we'll another dodge and burn, but this will be global. So just overall kind of theme we'll start creating. Soft light. Let's go take a brush, right click. We want to select soft round for this. 10% black, and I'm just start kind of like painting. What I'm doing, it is focusing just on her, so we need to hide some of those elements, and we'll maybe also do some more of the kind of coloring on her, you know what I mean, just create colder, warmer. But right here, just maybe add a little bit lights, kind of like in some areas. And remember what it says, if you create even lights, it can be very easy. Actually, right there a little bit darker, you know, maybe not too bright. But if you're creating, you can easy add shadows and highlights. Right here, so we're just focusing a little bit better on her face. Okay, let's go switch. Not too bright, I think, on her face, and we'll go kind of like a Noir, a Cyberpunk Noir type. Okay, next let's add some of the glowing. And glowing we can do several ways we can actually do glowing. The one way it is just create Control-Shift-Alt-E, Command Optional E, create a new layer. Let's go call it glow, and we'll go to filter, blur. We'll set Gaussian Blur, pop up a little bit higher, about right there. And you can switch this to two modes. Screen mode will creating, and again, create mask, alter black mask, have it white 10%, and then we can just like this, you know, paint with a glowing element. So this is one way to do it. Okay, let me delete this one. What I prefer, I found actually, it is not free, that plugin on Eric, but you know, the more I use it, the more I kind of like this plugin, and it's getting better and better. It does provide a lot of flexibility and custom, so you can do it, and I'll show you in a second what I was meaning by this. So it's take a little bit second before initializing, because it's actually creating some set. And again, I don't like it. It's by default will give you on a full screen of yours. Well, we will fix this by going to screen mode, standard mode, so it will resize back for us. But let's look right here. So what is happening? If we click X-ray, it will detect brightest areas. So if I pop up all the way up, for example, I want to glow on the back, not her face, but right here I can bring this threshold up, so I see glowing area just around there. And when I don't need it glow those areas, I can click on a mask. Okay, and just a mask area where I want to glow. So it's actually you masking what areas. Like, for example, I want to glow those ones first. When we're done, let's click enable, and we'll disable X-ray so we can see what's going on. Okay, let's disable X-ray, and before and after, you can see how it's add glowing. And a nice beautiful things, it's add those leaks. It's what I wanted. It's add kind of leak. We can add exposure, make those spots more hot, like right there. You'll see in a second they will become quite a bit hot, but I think they're just destructive, so we'll take exposure all the way down. But I do like the glowing, so it's what we're going to keep it. That glowing will help us save. So let's go save. I'm going to glow back, name it layer. Okay, next I want to add a little bit glowing on her face, so I'll go click generate another one, and you can see it's generating this layer for us with a mask, so we can hide if we need it. Okay, in this case I'm going to X-ray, and what I want to do, it's a mask, but I want to mask just her face right now, face and maybe hands, like right there. We'll click OK, and we can increase slightly mode. So let's go threshold. Actually, you know what, let me remask. I think we can actually do even like glowing different colors if we need it. And glowing different colors, we'll just need to go in a colorize mode, and you'll see it will add a little bit more colorizations, like right there, red. So it's before and after, so we can add glowing. But I think that one is good. Let's go take a threshold down in radius a little bit down, so we don't have it those super hot spots, what I want to try to avoid some of them. Okay, we'll take like right there, but it will add nice beautiful look on that. Okay, so when we're done, let's go ahead and click save, face glow, so we'll add that one. Okay, at this point we can preview. You can click on off, so you can see it's add a little bit glowing. Again, if it's too much, we have our opacity to fix this one. I think back it's look about right, maybe same, just a little bit less right there. Let's go play a little bit more with the coloring. We have too much of the red, so I'm going to create another color, switch to the soft light, and we'll switch. Let's go select some a little bit more colder color. Brush opacity, let's go 10% on this, and just add a little bit like right there. Kind of a little bit colder look. Okay, we'll go on her hand there, just reflections on the neck slightly. Okay, so it's going, there you go. Okay, playing just a little bit with the colors there, lick a little bit on a side, and a little bit on a hair right there maybe. Okay, we can also switch to different color. Let's select this one a bit warmer, just fixed few areas. There you go, just touch up so we have it balancing a little bit on the lights. Okay, next what I want to do, it's a overall toning apply to this image. For this, Control Shift Alt E, Command Option Alt E, creating new layers by merging all visible. And this one, I'm actually going to use Filter Forge. So we go Filter Forge, open this applications, and I'm going to use a fourth tone. What does have Filter Forge? It's an application you pay, but it's like 13,000 whatever filters is free that user created. So I created photo tone. For me, this kind of preset, so I can very fast click and apply color correction. You can still do this in the curves, but personally, I kind of like how fast, and you can see I have a bunch of presets done. For me, it's much easier just to go and play a little bit with a blind, see which you know what I mean, when it's come better coloring. So like right there, for example, I can find better balance, color, and when you do, click apply, and that's all what it is. Again, it's possible we can do all of the same things with just curves, but this way it's gonna give it more punch, I think, to this. Also, you remember we have it black and white right here. Let's grab it, drag all the way to the top, because this is more like Noir kind of. We'll add this black and white, and we'll just bring slightly down. So one thing what we want to do is switch mode to this to luminosity. So with luminosity won't affect color, it will just affect shadows and highlights. So we can actually see how much we can affect if we want to. I don't want to affect too much, but I want just a little bit add this darker Noir kind of look to this. And let's go before the next step. I want to actually create a new layer, fill up with 50% gray. Next, go to filter, noise, add noise. You remember it says we lost some of the grain. We use different images, different scales, different grains, so we lost all this. Let's go use it 20%. We fill up, and we'll just try to create with soft light blending mode this kind of the grain. You can see how now it's a uniformity come up with this, because we lost this. If we disable, you can see some is smooth, some too smooth, some is not too smooth. But doing this, we'll apply this faking for our eyes to creating this kind of semi-uniformity. Let's go maybe about 70-80%. There you go. There's about right. So it's add all this kind of grainy look film, but it's merging, helping us to get a blend all of these images. Okay, next what I want to do, it's maybe, just let's touch up, add some lighting. I think that might be okay, actually. Yeah, let's leave it here. Next, let's go to Selective Colors. Just one more touch up on coloring. We'll go start with a black. And usually it's a 0, but I don't necessarily like it. I like to bring maybe just a little bit, remove black. I don't like absolutely black, so it will go with a -4. And this one, we'll go to add colder lights. We'll go to the blue to cold, darker, so it's like add a little bit green, this one, and add cyan. You can see we can quite a bit add here, so about 1, 2 maybe, around 3. Let's go to neutral. Neutrals will go to warmer, so we'll go opposite right there in red, so you can see we kind of can add. We have it, yeah, we can play a little bit more with this, but I think a little bit warmer, nice. Let's go look on a white, and white is the, you can, there you go. So we don't want to use this. Let's go look red. Here's our red color. We can just saturate and bring a little bit darker. Usually I bring just a little bit darker, and we can go slightly into cyan color. So just saturate the red from before, like right there. And here's our kind of add a little bit toning. Notice what is happening. I have it 1, 2, 3. I have it so many different color toning, and it's what's happening. You want to create and you want to layer them. You want to add another one, see which one will work better, how they will affect each other. So this way you can achieve a little bit better look. I still think image a little bit flat, so what I'm going in a way what I was meaning, this edge I think need to be darker on the bottom. So before black and white, right here we'll create new layer. We'll go fill up with 50% gray, switch to soft light, and I will use a black brush, 10% opacity. I'm just going to add a little bit more dark to this area. Okay, like right here. Okay, next we'll go create new layer. Let's go call it fog, and I want to add fog up front of her. Okay, and we'll go right there. Let's go to select, we don't need smoke. We're going to the fog, and I think it's right here. There's our fog. We'll go select some brush for this, and you can play around, see which one working. I think this one maybe work very good. Okay, 100%. We'll increase in size and just add a little bit right there. Kind of a little bit smoky fog, just a little bit delay layer. So all what it does, it's help us blend together, because we'll see the fog going between everything, and it's help us to bring all of this image kind of together to work what we want. Okay, I think we're almost done. Only a couple things we're missing. So we want to go on the top, press right here, and put it your name. Speak about a name and other ones. You can do as you wish. Again, this is all its personal recommendation. I do not personally like when people do like this, okay, because it's a destroy image. So what I usually done personally, again, it's all in a personal matter. I do put it my name when I can select, because there you go, selecting. Okay, and I usually put it smaller somewhere. And I also don't like it's very bright, so we'll hide. So it still be there. Okay, it will tell people who want it. They will find who created this. Otherwise, because it's very easy to remove your copyright. Okay, but I think it just mess up with the image what you created. It just destroy the atmosphere and other things you want to do. So let's go group up everything. Okay, we call it retouching. And let's see, this is what we have before, it's what we started, and this is what we end up. Okay, before and after. I think that was kind of fun project. I hope some of the elements what to creating and bring alive the character from some theme was useful for you. Find some tips and maybe discover some new plugins that can use it. Again, those plugins, they're all, most of them is purchased, but you don't need to purchase them. You can do all this by the hand. All what plugins do for you, it is help you to speed up your work, okay? Help you to kind of do faster those repetitive tasks. It's all what it's about, because you can do it that way. Well, thank you very much for watching this video. If you find it's interesting and useful, please support by subscribing, give us thumbs up, like it, depending on where you're watching. Then also, if you're on the Patreon, your support is greatly appreciated. Thank you very much, everyone who support me on the Patreon. And we have a lot of new content coming for the Patreon users, the new Darker Wings and other ones, a lot of presets and everything. So again, if you're interested to become Patreon, the lot of assets is free for you to use, or you can purchase them on Gumroad. I will provide links below in the descriptions. And again, thank you very much for staying with this project, and hopefully you found this quite a bit fun.